Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today we're jumping into something absolutely core to how businesses run online: digital identity and access. If you've ever wondered how big companies manage who gets into what system and when, well, you're in the right place for some real insights. We're using Okta Administration Up and Running Second Edition by Henk-Jan de Vries and Lavisa Stenbeck and Schoenliff as our guide here. And our goal is to really cut through the jargon, pull out the key ideas, and help you understand how a platform like Okta shapes security and efficiency today. Think of it as getting you up to speed on something super relevant really quickly. Okay, so let's kick things off. We hear Okta mentioned all the time with Identity and Access Management, IAM. What exactly is Okta? And maybe why is it such a big name in this space?
Right. Well, at its heart, Okta is a premium suite of services. It's cloud-based, and crucially, it's platform-agnostic. It's designed for really efficient, modern IAM.
Platform-agnostic, meaning it works with pretty much anything.
Exactly. Its real power comes from that ability to work across all sorts of platforms and just seamlessly weave its features together. What that does is create this fine-knit layer of security and visibility over a company's whole digital setup. And that capability, that connecting tissue role, is really why it's seen as a leader.
It's interesting, too, the origin story. Founded by ex-Salesforce people, Todd McKinnon and Frederick Kurist, right in the middle of the 2008 recession, which seems counterintuitive, maybe.
Well, they had this vision. Coming from Salesforce, they saw the cloud wasn't just coming, it was going to be essential. And they realized that the old ways of managing identity, on-premise stuff just wouldn't cut it.
So they were betting on the cloud early.
Very early. They wanted to solve that last mile problem for cloud adoption. How do you give people secure, easy access to all their apps wherever they are? That conviction obviously paid off. By their IPO in 2017, they hit a $1.2 billion valuation. And, connecting that to the bigger picture, it's not just the tech. Things like their 1% pledge, their social commitment, and launching Okta Ventures, that $50 million fund for other identity startups.
Yeah.
It shows they're thinking strategically, long-term. They're really shaping the whole identity sector.
Right, investing back into the ecosystem.
Precisely.
Okay, so stepping back a bit, we know Okta is important, but what are the fundamental problems that IAM in general is trying to solve for organizations, beyond just, forgetting your password?
Yeah, it's much more than that. Fundamentally, IAM tackles a few critical things. First, managing user roles and what they're allowed to access. So you only get the keys to the doors you actually need based on who you are and your context.
Makes sense. Least privilege.
Exactly, least privilege. Second, it orchestrates the whole user journey from the moment someone joins.
Onboarding.
Right, onboarding through maybe changing departments, getting different access, all the way to offboarding when they leave. And third, crucially, it's about continuous assurance, making sure access always aligns with current company policies and security rules.
So it's dynamic, not just a one-time setup.
Absolutely. It has to be dynamic. This helps prevent major security risks like, old accounts sticking around or people having way more access than they need.
Okay. That leads nicely into another big term we hear constantly: zero trust. How does Okta actually help companies move towards that kind of model? What does zero trust even look like with Okta?
Yeah, zero trust is a big shift in thinking. It's a security framework where basically nothing is trusted automatically, not inside your network, not outside. No default trust. Every single access request gets verified. It's moving from trust but verify to just never trust, always verify. And Okta really provides a pathway, a maturity model to help organizations get there in stages.
Okay, so what are those stages?
Well, many organizations start at what Okta calls stage 0. Fragmented identity. This is often the traditional setup. You've got maybe on-premise Active Directory. Users have separate logins for different cloud apps.
Right, it's siloed.
Very siloed. And security relies heavily on the old perimeter model firewalls, VPNs. It's like a castle wall. Once you're inside, you're kind of assumed to be okay.
Which isn't great anymore.
Not in today's world. So then you move to stage 1, unified IAM. This is where you start breaking down that perimeter reliance. You bring in unified single sign-on, SSO.
Log in once, access many apps.
Exactly. A huge win for users and security. Less password hassle. And you had multi-factor authentication, MFA, using things like an authenticator app, maybe Okta Verify, SMS codes, biometrics, adding layers of proof.
Okay.
SaaS adoption usually grows here, too, as that physical boundary becomes less important.
So unified access, stronger authentication. What's next?
Stage 2, contextual access. This is where zero trust really starts to deepen. It's about understanding more than just the username and password. It looks at context.
Like what?
like the user's location, the device they're using, is it company managed, is it secure, what system are they accessing, even the time of day. All this context allows for really granular dynamic access policies.
So if I log in from a weird place on my personal laptop.
Exactly. The system might automatically say, okay, we need an extra MFA check here, or maybe even block access to sensitive data. It adapts.
Right, adaptive.
Yeah.
Which leads to the final stage.
Stage 3, adaptive workforce. This is kind of the peak maturity. It brings in more automation and sophisticated risk analysis. It starts pulling in data from other security tools like your mobile device management system to know device health.
MDM, right.
Or a CASB, a cloud access security broker for cloud app visibility. Or your SIEM system for threat intelligence.
SIEM, security information, and event management.
Correct. All this external data provides even richer context for those access decisions. It leads to a really flexible, secure, adaptive approach to workforce access.
That's a really clear progression. From fragmented to unified, then contextual, and finally, adaptive. So let's get into the nuts and bolts. What are the core Okta features that actually make this journey happen day to day?
Okay, absolutely. First and foremost, you have the Universal Directory, or UD. This is really the bedrock. It's designed to kill those identity silos we talked about.
The central source of truth.
Exactly. It centralizes all your users in groups. And critically, it connects smoothly with directories you already have, like Microsoft Active Directory or LDAP. There's an Okta AD agent, for example, that syncs users, handles their authentication against AD, manages provisioning and deprovisioning.
So it talks to your existing systems.
Seamlessly. You can manage Active Directory organizational units, OUS, right from Okta, and it supports things like just-in-time or JIT provisioning. So the first time a user tries to log into an app via Okta, if their account doesn't exist in Okta yet, it can be created automatically based on info from AD.
Ah, okay. Very efficient.
Very. It's the core identity consolidation engine.
Got it. What's next? SSO.
Yep, single sign-on, SSO. This is probably the feature users appreciate the most.
I'm fast.
Log in once to the Okta dashboard, and then you can just click into all your assigned applications without typing another password.
Save so much time and frustration. No more sticky notes with passwords.
Precisely. It's a genuine productivity booster, and it reduces security risk from password reuse or weak passwords. And Okta's strong here because of its Okta Integration Network, the OIN.
You mentioned that earlier, the 7,000 plus integrations.
That's right. Over 7,000 pre-built connectors for all sorts of apps using standard protocols like SAML, OpenID Connect, or even older methods like secure web authentication for apps that don't support modern standards.
So chances are the apps you use are already in there.
Very high chance, yes. Saves a ton of configuration work.
Okay, UD for the foundation, SSO for access ease. What about the security layers? MFA.
Exactly. Adaptive multi-factor authentication, AMFA. This adds those crucial extra layers of proof beyond just a password. Okta breaks factors down into categories. There are knowledge factors, something you know.
Like a password or security question.
Right. Then possession factor is something you physically have.
Your phone.
Your phone, with an app like Okta Verify or Google Authenticator, getting an SMS code, or maybe a physical hardware token like a YubiKey.
Those YubiKeys seem popular.
They are, and for good reason. Some of these possession factors, especially hardware tokens, offer really strong, phishing-resistant, and hardware-protected qualities. Much harder to trick a user into giving those up.
Good point. And the third factor type?
Biometric factors, something you are.
Oh.
Fingerprint scans, facial recognition.
Okay. But you called it adaptive MFA. What makes it adaptive?
That's the key part. It's not just throwing MFA at every login. Okta looks at the context, remember stage 2.
Location, device, etc.
Exactly. Location, device security posture, even user behavior patterns over time. Based on that risk assessment, Okta decides if MFA is needed, and maybe even which factors are appropriate. So logging into a non-critical app from your usual office network on your managed laptop might not require MFA.
Smooth for the user.
But accessing, say, the Okta admin console itself, or logging in from a new country, that would definitely trigger a prompt, maybe even require a stronger factor.
Balancing security and usability.
That's the goal.
Okay, one more foundational piece you mentioned, lifecycle management.
Yes, lifecycle management, LCM. This is all about automation, specifically around the user lifecycle.
Onboarding and offboarding again.
Primarily, yes, but also changes during employment. It automates the process of creating, updating, and deactivating user accounts, not just in Okta, but downstream in connected applications. Think about when someone joins. HR puts them in the system, like Workday or Bamboo HR. Okta can pick that up.
Ah, sourced from HR systems.
Yes, it can source directly from HR systems. Then it can automatically create the Okta account, provision accounts in necessary apps like Office 365, Slack, Salesforce, assign them to the right groups.
Saving IT and HR tons of manual work.
Huge time savings. And maybe more importantly, on the offboarding side, when someone leaves, deactivating their Okta account can automatically trigger deactivation in all those connected apps almost instantly.
Which closes security gaps fast.
Immediately. It uses a standard called SCM for a lot of this app provisioning. LCM also includes things like using the Okta expression language to map and transform data between systems, like making sure usernames are unique, and using group rules to automatically assign apps or policies based on attributes like department or location.
So it keeps everything consistent and automated as people move through the organization.
That's the idea. Ensures access rights are always appropriate and up to date.
These foundational pieces, UD, SSO, AMFA, LCM, seem incredibly powerful together. But Okta doesn't stop there, right? There are more advanced capabilities for really complex environments.
That's right. Once you have that foundation, you can leverage more advanced tools. A great example is Okta Workflows.
Workflows, what does that do?
It's a no-code or low-code automation platform within Okta. Think of it like building with digital Lego bricks. You can drag and drop steps to automate really complex cross-system business processes without writing traditional code.
Like what kind of processes?
Oh, lots. You can build sophisticated onboarding flows that go beyond basic provisioning, maybe send a welcome message in Slack to the new hires manager, add them to specific project channels, order equipment, or handling complex offboarding, archiving data, transferring ownership of files, sending notifications. You can even use it to resolve identity conflicts. Like if two new hires have the same name, it can automatically generate a unique username based on predefined rules.
So it extends that LCM automation significantly.
Massively. And it's not limited to apps in the OIN. It can connect to basically any system with an API, custom apps, other platforms. It's incredibly flexible.
That sounds really powerful, but maybe complex to set up. If you're new to it, what's the learning curve like? Is there a risk of messing things up with automation?
That's a fair question. The no-code, low-code interface definitely lowers the barrier. You don't need to be a developer. But the key is understanding the process you want to automate really well first. You need clear logic.
Garbage in, garbage out.
Sort of, yeah. Okta provides templates and clear building blocks to help. The visual nature makes the logic easier to follow. The best approach is usually to start small, automate one piece, test it thoroughly, make sure it works as expected, then build on it. And importantly, Workflows has detailed execution history and logs, so you can see exactly what happened if something doesn't work right, helping you troubleshoot. It's designed to enhance control, not lose it.
Okay, that makes sense. Start simple, test, iterate. What other advanced capabilities are key?
Another big one is API access management. This is less about users logging into apps and more about securing communication between systems.
Machine to machine.
Exactly. Think about modern software built with microservices, lots of small independent services talking to each other via APIs, or securing your own custom-developed applications. Okta provides the tools to secure these API endpoints using industry standards like OAuth 2.0 and OpenID Connect. You can create custom authorization servers within Okta to define exactly who or what can access your APIs and under what conditions.
So Okta becomes the gatekeeper for your APIs too.
Precisely. And interestingly, you can also manage Okta itself using APIs. Admins can automate tasks like creating users or groups via API calls instead of clicking through the interface, reduces repetitive work.
Right, automation everywhere. And the last advanced piece, advanced server access.
Yes, Advanced Server Access, or ASA. This takes Okta's zero trust principles and applies them directly to your server infrastructure, Linux and Windows servers, whether they're in the cloud or still on premises.
How does that differ from just using Okta to log into a server?
It goes much deeper. A common and risky practice is having shared admin accounts or static SSH keys lying around for server access.
Yeah, that sounds bad.
It is. ASA tackles this using what they call an ephemeral credential mechanism. Instead of static keys or passwords, when an authorized user needs server access, ASA dynamically creates temporary, short-lived credentials just for that session.
So the credentials expire quickly.
Very quickly. They grant the user just the privileges they need for that specific task, and then they disappear. It massively reduces the risk associated with compromised credentials. Plus, ASA includes detailed session logging and even recording for SSH and RDP sessions.
So you have a full audit trail of who did what on your servers.
Exactly. Complete visibility and accountability, bringing that granular zero trust model right down to the infrastructure level.
Wow, okay. We have definitely covered a lot of ground here, from Okta's core role in IAM, that journey through the zero trust stages, to the practical tools like Universal Directory, SSO, the adaptive MFA, lifecycle management, and then these really powerful advanced features like workflows for automation, API access management, and advanced server access for infrastructure. It's really clear Okta is much more than just a login box. It's a whole strategic platform.
It truly is. And as we look ahead, think about the sheer explosion of connected things, not just users and laptops, but servers, devices, applications, even machines talking to each other autonomously. The landscape of identity is constantly expanding. So, a final thought, perhaps. How does your own understanding of identity management need to evolve beyond just thinking about human users? How do we really embed that pervasive zero trust mindset across absolutely everything that connects and interacts in our digital world?
That's a great question to ponder. A lot to think about there. Thank you so much for walking us through all of that. And thank you all for joining us on this deep dive into Okta. We really hope you've picked up some valuable insights to navigate the complex but critical world of identity and access management.